I think if we want to live in a better, more equal world, first off, we have to be more empathetic. So we need to listen to other people's experience without interrupting and without getting defensive, and try to really understand them.
Adding a new chant to the growing chorus of civil discontent across the country.
네, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 먼저 자기소개 부탁드릴게요.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 데이샤입니다. 내가 미국 사람입니다. 하지만 지금 서울에서 살아요.
So, you've been doing your YouTube channel also.
네, 맞아요.
Can you explain a little bit about your channel?
Since then, back in 2012, I was living in Japan. And so I kind of started from there, and since then I've lived in Thailand, Guatemala, like a few other countries. But since I've been in Korea for 2 years now, I decided to make videos about Korea.
So in your YouTube channel, you mentioned about being caught by a police officer back in the US. Can you explain a little bit about it?
네. So when I was about 15 years old, it was me and my one friend who was also black, and it was actually my 15th birthday. So I decided to treat myself. And at the time I was really big into video games, so I wanted to buy a video game. So there was kind of like a video game shop not too far from my house that I wanted to walk to. So we were walking, and these two cops kind of pulled up on us all of a sudden. And it was a little intimidating, but they just kind of accused us of doing drugs or having drugs. And the thing is, usually a lot of cops, when they want to arrest black people, the first thing they usually accuse them of is some kind of drug usage or have some kind of drugs on them. So I guess they really wanted to see how they could arrest us. And we were only 15 at the time, so we were only kids, you know. But of course we didn't have any drugs on us, but I mean, they had like flashlights and they were shining it in our eyes and just saying, you have drugs, that's what you people do. And he was like searching us, and my friend also has a mental disability, and so she's a little bit slow when it comes to responding to certain things. And so I guess because the way she responded, he just assumed that she was on drugs, and so therefore they decided to arrest us.
It's kind of hard recalling this, and thank you for like sharing your experience with us. But then it will be kind of, when you first saw the footage or the video of George Floyd's case, how was your? Can I ask how was it?
괜찮아요. Actually, when it first kind of came out, I couldn't watch it at all. Just because there's so many videos of black people getting killed by cops, or just completely mistreated by people in general. So it's a little bit hard for me to watch, especially a lot of kids also are killed by cops and mistreated by people. So I was avoiding it for a little while, but with the protests and everything that was going on, I figured, okay, maybe this is really important. So actually I created a video explaining to Koreans about the Black Lives Matter movement, right? So when I was editing that video, I thought maybe I should add in the George Floyd clip. So that was when I finally watched it, sort of, but I couldn't even finish watching it. I watched it maybe until he said I can't breathe. I had to stop, and I started crying. So it's really difficult, but
When you uploaded that video footage, how was the reaction of the people?
Very positive, actually. I think the purpose of that video was to target Korean audience, because I felt it was the least that I could do in the situation I'm in, because I'm not in America right now. And a lot of Koreans weren't aware of the Black Lives Movement, so I think it was really good for them to learn more about what Black Lives Movement is. And so I think a lot of Koreans also appreciated that.
So that footage went on viral all over the world, and it became a starting point of the movement Black Lives Matter. Can you explain what that movement means?
Well, actually, Black Lives Matter has been around for years. Yeah. So I think the George Floyd situation just kind of sparked it more internationally. But the Black Lives movement has been around since 2012. The Trayvon Martin case, where a teenager, just a kid, was shot and killed by not even a cop. He was what do you say, like on neighborhood watch. So he was basically a normal citizen, but he decided to kill this teenager who was just walking from the store after buying candy. And so with social media in the way it is, news got around fast because there was footage of it. And so since then, that was what the Black Lives Matter movement came from. But the movement basically means that the lives of Black people do not matter in our world, in our society. Black people are continued to be looked down upon, continue to be killed, continue to be mistreated from everybody. And so it's like our lives don't matter, and that's why the Black Lives Matter movement is so important.
Just as you said, there are many K-pop fans who are also participating in this movement also, and many Koreans also. When you see these kind of like global movements, what do you think about, what do you feel about it? Can I ask you that?
I think it's really good. 좋아요. I think, you know, growing up and experiencing the things I experienced and the things that I continue to experience, it's really hard living the life that I have to live and many other Black people. And so I think it's really powerful when people are coming together and kind of like standing up for you. So I think it's really good.
So you've been living here in Korea for like 2 years. Have you ever, well, there are discrimination in Korea also. And you recall, can you have any like, experience that you?
Yeah, so actually when I first came to Korea, maybe 2 or 3 months in, at the time I had a friend who was visiting from Japan. She's actually American, but she was lived in Japan. And so we decided to go to Itaewon that night. And there was a hip hop club. And we're like, oh, let's go here. And they said no Black people allowed. So it was really heartbreaking. I actually cried a lot that night. And it was also heartbreaking too because my friend, it's her first time to visit Korea. And that was the first thing she saw, right? So, you know, that also probably gave her not a good perception or idea of Korea. And I think too, sometimes a lot of English schools as well, usually they always say that they prefer white teachers or Black teachers. So a lot of Black people will actually apply for school jobs. And then the response they'll get back is say, sorry, but we only want white teachers because it looks better. And I think, again, that's just really unfortunate because a lot of Black people who have, you know, studied so hard and so well, but to only get rejected. Even some schools prefer like non-native English speakers as long as they're white compared to native English speakers. So it's just really unfortunate that that's the case. But again, I think with the history and how things were, even Korea was influenced by European thinking and thinking that Europeans are kind of sort of better than Black people and Black people sort of kind of lower. So it's really unfortunate, but.
Then what do you think is necessary in Korea to fight for the discrimination and racism currently here?
I think definitely having some sort of anti-discriminatory law is important. I think when people say no Black people out, it's not right. Like at all, that's just not right.
Doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
It's shocking because Itaewon is one of the places that have most population of
It
foreigners.
really makes no sense. Like,
and even a hip hop club.
yeah, it's a hip hop, exactly. They're playing like Kanye West or something like that. So it's just very ironic because in Korea, they love hip hop and they love Black culture and Black things, but Black people themselves, they're just, you know, no. So even like a lot of hip hop videos that you see, like Korean hip hop videos, that with foreigners in it, almost all the foreigners are white people. So it's like, wait a second, what?
Lastly, what do you want to tell people who participate the movement Black Lives Matter in Korea, and those people who are not currently participating but who wants to participate in this movement?
So first, I would say if you know any Black people, to support them because they're having like a really hard time. And I think, you know, for us Black folks, we have to fight so hard. So they always say like Black people have to work 2 times as hard for something, whereas like a white person only has to work half as hard. So we have to work so much more harder to get something compared to like a white person. So I think just trying to support the Black people living here I think, yeah, just supporting a lot of the black businesses that are also here, supporting your black friends. Like if you have friends who are black, just support them as well, because we do have to work so hard, and we have so much stress and so much things we have to go through. So I think having just some type of support and just reaching out just makes a huge difference, because it feels like the whole world is on our shoulders. If you want to support more of the movement too, I think there's so much great information out there explaining more about the movement, and if you even have like funds, you can even donate towards the movement. So I think that's all great ways to support.
We're very thankful that you share with us and our viewers. 감사합니다.
아니에요. Thank you so much for watching. 감사합니다. I hope you guys are able to learn some things from watching this video, and I hope you all enjoy. Thank you.
네, 말씀해 주셔서 감사합니다.